Chandler versus Poirier. Guys, what do you think? I mean, right, this seems kind of obvious. You have two really big stars at the same weight class. Put them together. Great night. I want to know a little bit deeper. What do you guys think? Look, I had a very meaningful conversation. I'm giving Chandler a good look. I must tell you, Frankie Edgar is saying that he's going to retire. Frankie Edgar is my favorite fighter. I'm going to need a favorite fighter when Frankie's gone. I mean, I just have to. I'm starting to look in the direction of Michael Chandler. I'll tell you right now. I have not seen Chandler get one wrong. I had a private conversation with Chandler. I want to bring to you guys what he said, because I was so impressed. And it was very simple, and here's all it was. Michael Chandler went after Islam Makhachev. Where did that come from? I'm thinking that. And I got a whole conspiracy. I got a whole conspiracy that Volkanovski's coming to 55, and that's gaining some traction, and Islam's going to become available, and Chandler's... I mean, I've got this whole thing worked out. It was as simple as this. He wants to fight, and he knows he's not getting a world title fight next. He wants the next best thing, which is whatever's next makes him the number one contender. He doesn't believe there's certain guys that he could fight that obviously make him the number one contender. He knows he could be in the conversation, and he's right. He is right now. He wants it obvious. Whoever his next opponent is, he wants everybody to stand back and go, okay, you're now the number one contender, and he thought he could get that with Islam. That's a very unusual reason to call somebody out. That is very refreshing, that comes from a very deep-rooted competitor. There's no other way you get to that mindset unless deep within who you are, in your heart and your mind, you are a competitor, first and foremost. I really just wanted you guys to hear that, because it will change the way you look at Chandler. Did me. Very powerful stuff. Now, what are you going to do with Dustin Poirier? You got two massive stars who went and found each other in an audience and got Dustin Poirier mad. When's the last time you've ever seen Dustin Poirier mad? And Dustin's had to put up with some stuff. We've seen things that happen to Dustin that would piss anybody off, but it never has. Just never has. So you now have something powerful there. It's very hard to look away from. Now, guys, I'm not announcing for you that it's going to be Chandler versus Poirier. I just read an interview by Chandler, and I'm just bringing you up to speed. Chandler's words were something along the lines of, I think they're going to put me with Dustin. I actually think we're going to get this done fairly soon. That was it. Now, that sounds like insider information that just revealed a fight for you, but it wasn't. It was genuinely Chandler looking at the tea leaves and all the clues that he has, including ones behind the scenes that we haven't seen, knowing how this thing works and thinks it's going to end up there with Poirier. I want to know what you guys think of that. And what do you think of the fight? And guys, it's very interesting. Because, again, I want to go by what Chandler's words were, which weren't very many. It was 2 sentences. But let's just break down those 2 sentences. He said very soon. So if the fight announcement is going to come very soon, that means those guys are going to fight within 2 to 3 months. Precisely what it means. Go get your calendar out and tell me where we have a pay-per-view that doesn't have a main event. Now, you will find one. That date actually does exist in November. But do we believe that that's going to be put at the top of the bill? Or do we believe that somebody who's a current champion is going to get pulled back in? A lot of rumors towards Adesanya Pereira, just by example, to take that spot. And it's very relevant, though, what I'm saying, because if they're not a main event, it means they're a co-main event. And Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier is 2 massively different fights if you're doing it for 15 minutes as opposed to 25. They are massively different fights. I'm telling you, they would change the line. The line at DraftKings, if you could just do this, somehow we could get it made for 25 and then later get it corrected to 15, it would swing drastically, and it might even flip. Who you think is going to win in 25 minutes, you might change your mind if you found out it was going to be 15. So there's things about this match that I just love. Not to mention, Poirier needed to pick a weight class. It was the first thing that he needed to do, because he was flirting with the idea of going to 170 pounds. Well, now he's pissed off and it happens to be at 155, but that could still give us some clarity to the future of Dustin Poirier. And this division and who's going to be fighting who and what true number one contenders matches are is a whole nother conversation if Oliveira loses to Strap. To make believe that the winner of Chandler Poirier, which is just a dream fight, I mean, come on. This is the fight, right? But to make believe that that person goes and becomes the number one contender, if Charles is champion, is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. We've already seen it. both ways. Those are always a little bit tougher to redo. But to make believe that the winner of Chandler versus Poirier is the number one contender if Islam becomes champion, who, by the way, is favored right now at DraftKings, 3-1 a week ago. Well, that's a totally different deal. Sure, you'd like to see Poirier in there with Islam, if Islam grabbed the belt. Sure, you'd like to see Chandler. Absolutely. Now. I want to see it right now. So it's one of these things. I know what Chandler wanted to do, which is to get this number one contenders match. I'm just not sure that he didn't do it, but neither's he. We don't know what that division is going to look like. And if these two are going to go out and fight, I got to hear the story. I mean, I really do have to hear the story. Because I watched Michael Chandler call out 4 guys. I watched him. He did not call out Poirier, which seems upset Poirier. Dustin Poirier, who's never been mad, ever, in front of us, is red hot, boiling over because he was not called out. I had not heard of that before. I am always open to very new ideas. I don't get to see them very often. I've been around the sport for a really long time. Been a fan from the conception. Was a fan of boxing before that. I have not heard of somebody having their feelings hurt because they weren't challenged. And I'm in. I like the whole thing. The X's and O's is something, guys. First off, we don't have this fight yet. But secondly, it's something we have to put off until we find out the placement of this fight. 25 versus 15 with these two athletes is a very different breakdown. So stand by. Let's do everything in order. Let's find out if we've got this fight. We'll have to address it, what it's for, a number one contendership. We'll have to address that at another time. We don't have enough information right now. But moreover, where on the card is this going to go?